Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Am I clear? Good evening. Okay. Clear, I'm clear. Any delays, any echoes? Can you hear me clearly? Am I good? Am I clear? Thank you. Yes, no echo. Good evening, good night. Welcome everyone to another episode of Coffee Talk. I am your host, Shane. I'm sorry if I sound a little low. I am kind of under the weather. As the weather begins to change, so does the outside air. So certain nights that I've been out at work, it's been very, very cool. And then during the day it gets hot, so if I sound stuffy, I apologize. But welcome again to another episode of Coffee Talk. I am your host, Shane. This is my every Friday podcast until it increase, where we will discuss any trending topics. We do have Q&A, so in the chat, if you have any questions pertaining to anything we are discussing, go ahead and put it inside. So today we're going to end off what I have started, I guess, from Sunday on down. So we have had a series of groups that I have under me. We had recovery studies, we had women talk, and so tonight, ending on this Friday, with this podcast, we're going to continue our segment and all of the outline and everything that is wrapped around is healing. So we are going through this series where we're learning as women how to heal, what to heal from, understanding the healing journey. So we will get into that. But before we jump into the topic, the trendy topic, we're going to go ahead with what's trending right now. So as you all know, it's been all over the internet. On Thursday, I believe September the 2nd, we lost Queen Elizabeth. So we know that there's been floating topics and issues and concerns, and everyone's going through their whole mourning process in regards to the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, so here at the podcast, we send our condolences to all of them in the United Kingdom, and so we're just going to move forward with that. On another note, children are back in school. Yay! So a lot of the children returned back. Those that are in charter school already returned back, which is okay. So my children actually went back today. So we are thankful that the schools are able to be open. And there has been a number of community outreach that are giving away book bags and back to school books and things like that. So I hope that your child or boy and girl was able to get whatever it is needed for the school term. So we are going to continue to pray for those parents as they go to and from school. And we are asking that, that the school system stay open, that the teachers want to teach. So that's a little trendy topic that I have. So far, so good. Schools, I haven't heard anything bad. School, this was the first week. I believe they went back to September. This is for public schools. Charter school already went back. I haven't heard anything bad from that. But so far, so good. Schools the school seems to be going good. My girls enjoyed today. They had a beautiful day. Today was beautiful outside. So that's that with that trending topic. So again, my name is Shane. This is Coffee Talk. I sound a little stuffy because I am. We're going to go right into we're ending the day. We're ending the week off of a topic that we have been talking about this whole entire week from Sunday on down, which is healing, and we are on a series of getting ourselves to a place of peace. Us as Black women, I don't want to get flagged or anything, so I'm not outcasting anyone, but this is the topics that we have been studying on this week and have been learning different techniques to use as we begin our healing process. So tonight we're going to open up first with understanding self-healing, understanding what it means to heal, understand necessary steps that you need to take in this process, in your journey of healing. Now again, we all come from diverse backgrounds and we have different coping mechanisms, but if you can identify, I'm going to list at least 4 signs that you need some sort of healing to take place in your personal life. Now you self-examine yourself and see where you're at. Again, I'm not a therapist, but this is a journey that we are on. I say we because it's not me by myself. It's actually a collective of us that's on this healing journey. So I'm going to give you some tips or some things to look at, and you just examine where you're at. Maybe you want to go ahead and start your healing journey too. So the first thing I have is if you think negatively about yourself. Okay. Another one that I have, if you feel depressed or if you go through depression frequently. Another one that I have is if you have difficulty letting go. The last one, if you react and don't respond. Now these are signs that you need either emotional healing or some sort of healing. So what I just gave, it's some outlines or things that you can think about in your process to see if this journey is something that you need to partake in. So the first one, again, I'm going to repeat it for those that are coming on again. I'm your host, Shane. This is Coffee Talk. This is a weekly podcast where we go on Spotify and all major platforms. So I hope that everyone that's logging on right now, can you hear me clearly? Can you give me some thumbs up and some hearts and some likes to let me know if you can hear me clearly? We're good? We're good this week? Oh, okay. So, great. Okay, so, yes, again, I just gave some signs that you want to take a look at yourselves to see if you need any type of healing to take place in your personal life. So again, I'm going to read them off to you. For those that are just now logging on, I see the numbers going up and down. Just let me know if you have any disruption. I'll pause, I'll stop. Okay, so again, if you missed this live or if you know someone that wanted to join the live, it will be uploaded on my YouTube channel as well as the other platforms. Okay, so again, I have some signs and some things that you can look at to see if you stand in need of any type of healing that you might need for yourself. Either it's emotional healing, self-healing, transformation, trauma, just things to take a look at. I'm going to end the week off of topics that we have started off from Sunday or down. Okay, so if you overthink, if you think negatively, if you have depression or you go through depression quite often, if you have difficulty letting go, if you react and you don't respond, and there are more that you could actually write down, and there are more that you can think of. But these are just some topics and some things I threw down on the paper to take a look at where you're at in your whole journey. I think healing is a lifelong process. That's my spew on it. But I think identifying that there are some environmental or family traumas that needs to be either removed or addressed or healed in order for us to be the very best version of ourselves. Okay, so at this time and this season and things that we are going through as women, if you go down the timelines of all of your social media, everyone is on this healing journey. So you ask yourself their questions like, what does that mean? That means you are at a place in your life where the old ways in which you are going is no longer working for you. The stumbling blocks that you're encountering, you're tired of it. You want to move out of fear. You want to move better with faith. You just want better for your life. And sometimes you just feel stuck and stagnant, right? So sometimes, we don't understand what it is that we're going through or what it is that we feel. Now, again, I am not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a doctor, but I do recommend, if you can, you go ahead and go to therapy. I do highly recommend therapy. I'm not one of those that oppose it. So some vocabulary, some listing, some words that I do have, forgive me, I am under the weather, that I do have that we have been defining and studying on this entire week. So I added on some more. So what we had in our group, one of our groups, which we launched our first group of recovery studies on Tuesday, where the chaplain that was there, she had she asked us to collectively throw some words out to start our journey. And then on Thursday night, we ended with one of the elders, and she had some words of a workbook, and not a workbook, but an author. I don't have the author in front of me. And there were some words that she added on with our self-healing segment that we have going on. So I also added on some more. We had insecurity. We had fear. We had, what I wrote down is anger. You have different mood swings. You have to know when to ask for help. Not only to ask for help, but to accept the help that you're asking for. Also understanding to take baby steps. It's okay. You can't leap. What else do I have? Be patient and persistent. Also view setbacks as part of the process and learning new opportunities. Last I have is look for and seek emotional safety. Okay, so now with these things, I just added on some more vocabulary to go along with what we have been studying this entire week. Also, I think we have discipline. There's a list of words that you can write down. You could take your time out later on during the weekend, whenever you have time, to look up different words that pertain to healing. But the ones that I wrote down is what I'm going to expound about tonight. And so again, we are on the week, and I started off the week with healing. I'm going to end off this week with healing. And so when it comes down to self-healing, it is a process that you need to go through, and you may have to go through by yourself. Sometimes we as people, we look for outside entities to help and assist us because we don't want to feel the different emotions that go along with this healing journey. Hey, Miss Tangi, how are you? And so when it comes down to self-healing, you have to understand you're going to go through highs and lows. You're going to go through different feelings. You're going to go through different phases. You're going to go through different realities. You're going to get clarity as to what has taken place with you, whether it was environmental, whether it was family trauma, whether it's self-inflicted. You're going to go through different highs and lows. And one of the things that I did write down is to view setbacks as part of your process, and also the process and learning opportunities. That's also part of your process. Now, setbacks, everyone can contest that they've had a setback or a stumbling block or something just didn't work out for them. When it comes down to this healing journey, you have to understand that it's part of the process. So you should not, and don't look at it as I shoulda, coulda, woulda, or somebody next to me got that opportunity that I didn't get, or I took a loss or an L, or I might have lost some money or time, or things like that. When it comes down to healing, you have to understand that is part of the process. And even in setbacks, that you have to understand and understand, the setbacks is meant for your growth and healing, and your healing process and your healing journey. Okay, you have to understand that there is also no time frame with this. We like to speed to get to the finish line, and as we're trying to get to the finish line, we miss the little small details in it, right? So I'm also on a healing journey. I have a group of us that's on a healing journey, and this week that just passed, there was some stagnation, there was some resistance, but the outcome was so beautiful. I always encourage and I want to inspire women to dig deep. Do not come on any of my group, any of my lives, and think I'm not going to dig out the very best of you, because I am. And I say that because I'm used to, with my healing process, just addressing whatever comes my way. So if it's a stumbling block, if it's something I gotta get to in order to get through, that's the way I work, and I embrace the journey with it. Now sometimes it don't feel good, it don't, but I like the beginning stage and I like the ending stage, because I love how God just manifests himself in me, and I like to watch the process of where I was prior and where I'm going now. So when it comes down to your healing journey, I want you, and I would recommend that you view your setbacks as part of your process again, and also view the setbacks as part of your opportunity. Okay, so if something comes back up, whether it's that job opportunity, whether it's opportunity to record, and whether it's opportunity to travel, whatever that opportunity that might resurface, I want you to go ahead and look at it as a secondary chance, even reconnecting with family members, even reconnecting or closing chapters in your life. I'm going to add those on. Look at it as part of the process, and you have to go back and either close the door or go back and revamp that. If opportunity presents itself again and you were unable to do it the first time, I think it's a good thing to address it again, to go through it again, but maybe use a different detour. Okay, another thing with your healing journey is your insecurities of feeling as if you're not worthy of whatever opportunities that may come your way. I don't stand on that. When it comes down to insecurities, I believe above the sky is endless limits. Not the limit is the sky. Above the sky is endless limits. So that means I could always go above and beyond. So when it comes down to insecurities, that word is not in my vocabulary. So I would encourage man, woman, and child, whatever your background is, to take that word out of your vocabulary, because you're not insecure about anything. You might have a little hint of fear, but never be insecure of who exactly you are. If you have stigmas and deformities, you understand, embrace those things, because in my vocabulary, you were uniquely built for whatever. You were uniquely built, so that's the way God intended for you to be. All right, again, thank you for coming on to Friday Night's podcast. I'm your host again, Shane, and this is Coffee Talk, and we are ending a week off with my healing journey. It has been an open discussion from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and today is Friday, so I'm going to close off with the same topic. Thank you for chiming on, taking time out to come on live. In the chat is my Cash App, so if you feel like sowing a seed and helping this thing to grow, please do so. I would greatly appreciate that. So tonight's topic, we are talking about the self-healing journey, the highs and lows of your healing journey, and understanding why it is important to go ahead and get this journey going. If you listen to an endless number of content on social media, you see that this is like not only a trendy topic, but everyone is at this, doesn't matter what age they're at this stage in their life when they want better, and they just want to get to this place of what is called peace. Okay, so I gave you a list of some words that you can go ahead and write down and define yourself and examine yourself. And then the chat is open if you have any questions or things that you want to expound about or add on to this topic. I can read it here on my end. Okay, so another one that is part of your healing journey is the mood swings. Mood swings. Okay, so mood swings, you're going to have high and low. Your mental will go up and down. You will go through not being able to sleep to sleeping too much. That's where depression and anxiety does fall into play. 1 minute you will be extremely happy. These things, great things come your way, and then as soon as something throws you off track, you are extremely upset. You go through periods of days of where you are angry. When it comes down to healing, embrace every emotion that comes your way, whether good or bad. Embrace it. I also encourage that you do journal. When you journal, you can write down everything that you feel, so that when you go ahead and reflect that day, you'll see how you have overcome whatever that is. Now, also with your healing journey, self-healing, this is for self. It is not for your husband, it's not for your spouse, it's not for your children, your supervisor, your manager, whatever. This is for yourself. In order for you to be the 100% you or the 1000% you have to make sure you are always correct. That's how you're able to assist in the aid with anyone that's out there. If you're not mentally clear, if your environment, your surroundings mentally clear, you will be difficult to be around, and people will not want to deal with you. Okay, so that's something to take a look at. Okay, another one that I have written down is holding on to grudges. I don't know why people hold on to grudges. Grudges is like a seed. It's planted inside your body, and the seed take root. When the seed take root, it begins to germinate. Not only does that thing germinate, but it sprouts up. And then the next thing you know, you based your entire life off of a grudge. Some of the people that you are holding on a grudge with are probably no longer even here on this earth. When it comes down to a grudge, and you have to really be honest with yourself, you might not get the apology, you might not get the door closed. So that's why this is called self-healing. You might have to close that door and get that apology yourself. You might have to do that yourself. That's why this is called self-healing. Some people hold on to grudges, and some people have been done wrong, and the people that have done the wrong probably don't even realize they did it. And then the ones that do acknowledge and do know that they have done you wrong, for whatever unforeseen circumstances, they do not come back and apologize. And I have to be clear, and I'm understanding this word apology or I'm sorry. Sometimes that doesn't soothe the feeling. It doesn't give exactly the comfort that is needed for hurt. That word I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I don't believe in promises. I'm not one to give out promises. But I'm sorry, sometimes it doesn't comfort a lot of us. It's okay to say that as women. Sometimes I'm sorry is just not enough. Okay, so with your self-healing journey, you have to get to a place. And again, I'm not a doctor, a therapist, none of these above. This is just coffee talk, and we just happen to have an open dialogue. You have to get to a place in your journey to where these things, people, places, and things, you can close that hurt, that door, that missed opportunity yourself. And that takes strength with the Creator himself. Now, for those that don't believe in that and don't have some type of spiritual background, then that's okay. You can go ahead and do your journaling, and you can continue the outside sources, which is therapy. And again, I'm not a therapist. This is just open talk. This is coffee talk. You have to do these things for yourself. It's not for the other person. It's for yourself. Okay. Another one that I have written down right here in my notes is difficulty in forgiving others, which goes along hand to hand with holding the grudges. So I don't have to really elaborate too much on that, but you know where you're at. Not forgiving others, wanting to continue to be mad, walking around with anger that's deep rooted. Again, and it's the center of your home. It's the center of your environment. I don't believe in giving people that much power. The older I get and the more that I do this healing work, I don't give people power, and I'm very protective over my energy. I know how valuable I am, so I always encourage that you don't give away your energy and your power, because that's where your strength is. Okay, so in this self-healing journey, these are just some things to look at. Our environments were all different, different times, different eras, and people did and continue to do what's needed to survive. It wasn't always necessarily the best thing, but they did what they need to survive. Out of that survival, there came some trauma that hit our community. Last week we spoke about narcissistic behavior, and I started my podcast off with that being a trending topic, and that blew up. I'm still getting text messages because of that too, which we'll probably revamp later on, maybe in a month or next month. But the healing work, healing and trying to be a better you. This seems to be also something that is not only trending, because I don't want to say it's for entertainment. It's not only just for entertainment, but it's for yourself. Okay, so with this, you can go ahead and you can continue to send me emails and shoot me text message. I thank you all for those things. Also, I am on Spotify. Also, I am on YouTube, and you can continue, because I'm going to continue to bring more of these traumas in our community, and I'm going to share this to light. Now, this week I don't have a host. I wanted to talk directly to you guys. I'm not sure what next week will bring, but for right now, we're going to continue these traumas and these disorders and illnesses that have hit our community. So hopefully I could be a pillar or a light that can help someone when it comes down to these things. So again, I am not a doctor. I do not prescribe any medication. I don't do any of the above, but I can share some light on these topics. So the definitions that I did give to you, you could take these again. I'll repeat them again, and you start reflecting, you start journaling, you start writing down and creating your own workbook. It doesn't take a lot to create a workbook. You can get a composition notebook or a beautiful notebook from TJ Maxx, whatever floats your boat, and you can write down some of these things. Now, some of y'all have some that's so deeply rooted, you might not get it healed and fixed, but at least you can address it. Address these things and start your process, because God created a great you. These stumbling blocks that you have is not of Him. He wants you to be your very best version of you. So why would you hold on to grudges and animosity and resentments and just stumbling, just things that's just not giving you your very best version of you? And again, this is not a speed process. This is not a rush process. This takes a lifetime. Takes a lifetime. And the more that you're able to address things that stopping your healing process, you'll become lighter and you'll feel better. You'll begin to do things that you thought you would never be able to do, because it's like weight taken off of you. It's like weight being removed from something inside of you, or even in your home. If you've never been on a flight, or you have never traveled out the country, you will be inspired to do that. You understand? So there are a number of women and podcasters that's up here, and they shed some light on these things. There are a number of ways that you could begin your process, but I'm going to give you the simplest form. It's with writing it down on black and white paper. That's it. Write it down. Take one and work on one topic. Work on one topic. So the topic may be, I can't lose weight, and it stemmed from as a childhood I was chubby. That's a huge one. Let me tell you something. As a child, we were all chubby. We were all chubby. So how is this? I don't understand. You go through these different phases in your life. So you're going to be skinny, you're going to be fluffy. The older you get, you're going to get smaller. So you're just going to have to embrace what you look like. Now, unless you got $6,000 or $10,000 in the bank and you want to go ahead and go fix that, by all means necessary. But for an average person, you better embrace it. So if you was chubby as a kid and they made fun of you as a kid, 9 times out of 10 we all was chubby. Your body didn't stretch. So boom, I just started off with that healing. Okay, so write that down, and that doesn't have to stop you from looking in the mirror. It doesn't have to stop you about having a body complex. I don't understand that. We've all gone through that. We were all fluffy. Some of us was tall. Some of us stopped growing. Some of us had big feet. Some of us have a stigma where we can't see while we're driving, and our parents didn't get glasses for us, so now we jacked up, we borderline. But I'm just like, just the body shaming. That is one of those that's on this healing process, and I'm here to tell you, you have to you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror. You have to. The insecurities sometimes that women have, it reflects and it kind of shows all around them. So people can see like, okay, she body shames herself, so she might be nasty to the next woman. You understand who doesn't look or have any type of insecurity. So you examine where you're at right there with yourself, and then you're gonna another topic that always come up for me. You examine yourself where you at. Those that wanted to go back to school but didn't get a chance to go back to school, that's another huge issue. You can literally get a diploma online. At this time, there's all sorts of universities, certificates online. You don't even have to sit in the classroom. Now, if you want the whole entire experience, by all means, go ahead and do that. If you have the time now to take time out and go sit in the classroom and go to that grad school and get your master's, or I said it backwards, whatever, you go ahead and do that. These are things that you can write down that cause us to have a healing journey, cause us to have stagnation with our healing journey. Okay, what is another huge one? Those are the big ones. Insecurity, body shaming. In the chat, you want to chime in? Go ahead. Oh, you guys are writing down here. What's another one that stops you? Those that weren't able to just do whatever it is that they wanted to do at a certain time in their life, and they might be at a point in their life where they feel like they can't go 10, 20 years back. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas is a huge problem in our community too. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You know, when it comes down to missed opportunities, some opportunities you might not be able to get back. Some opportunities might resurface, and it comes back even better than what it was presented to you. You have to really get to a place where, if I wasn't able to get that desk job 10 years ago and now I can work online now, I think you can go ahead and go online. Don't hold on to, if I just shoulda, coulda, woulda, I would have been retired, and don't look at it like that. Right now in this time, let's stay present in the moment. Let's stay in the moment presently. I might have said it backwards, but y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. Let's stay focused right now. So if the job opportunity presents itself, take it. Take it, because you might not have time to travel into the city or go out of state for this job. You could work right at home and run your home the way that you need it. Your children will be okay. Your helpmate, situationship, spouse, whatever you want to call them, you might be attentive to him. So take that job. So when it comes down to this, again, this self-healing, this journey, you have to be able to, again, accept where you are at, and those things that have taken root in you that are not serving you any good, that is causing you to stagnate, that's not letting you be your very best you. You have to write these things down and start that process. And again, one of the things I did write down, this journey might be a self journey. You might be able to go to therapy. You might pick up a phone and try to express yourself to your friend, family, or your helpmate, or your situationship, or your spouse, and they might not understand what exactly you're talking about. This is a self-healing journey. So my emotions today might be completely erratic, and then 2 days from now, I'm completely loving. Embrace that emotion. Embrace it. That's the thing about being a human. Anything is subject to change. Anything is subject to change. So if I feel like cutting my hair today, and then I want to grow locks 3 days from now, this is part of my healing journey. Embrace it. As long as you don't cut your hair and regret it later. When you cut your hair, it's a form of newness and starting over. It's a form of rebirth. So embrace all of the crazy emotions that you have going on, because it is part of the process. Environmental trauma also. Now we're going to definitely understand that certain times of our lives, certain eras, there was definitely some emotional stuff that did plague our inner communities. It really did. I can't heal those things. There are people with MDs and LCSDs and all those wonderful initials that can address these issues. But for this podcast, those deep environmental traumas, I would suggest at least writing those down. Getting to a place to not accepting, because accepting is another word, but addressing that whatever might have taken place with you, with deep environmental traumas. And what I mean by environmental traumas is your home, it's your school, it's your community, it could have been your temple, your whatever it might have been. And maybe some things might have happened to you, man, woman, or child, and so these things have completely taken root in you and caused you to be man, woman of who you are. Write it down. I would definitely suggest that you go ahead and start your therapy with that, because you might not get that door closed, you might not get that answer, and sometimes there's never an answer. And that's another thing that we have to understand and understand too. Sometimes there's never an answer. Not only is the word I'm sorry or I apologize not good enough, but there may never be an answer. And again, with healing yourself, self-healing, this is for you. So holding on to that is giving someone else your power. And what I mean by your power, you have to understand how energy exchange. So if you might have done something to me, the level that it might have taken place. It could have been something as to not paying me back my money, or something even deeper. If I let that continue to stay root in me internally and around my environment, I gave you my power, because it stopped me from being the very best me. It stopped me from excelling, exceeding to my highest potential. It stopped me from questioning who I am. It stopped me from my spiritual growth. It stopped me from loving on my family and my children, or continuing or creating a bond that should have gone deeper. It stopped me or stagnated me from traveling. It stopped me from purchasing that house or getting that vehicle. It just gave me a stunt growth. It just stopped. And so that person that have done you wrong, or whatever levels or whatever level, they're holding on to that. Oh, look at her, I did X, Y, and Z, and people feed off of that. It's a great high. Believe it or not, that's another topic for another day. But when you relinquish your energy, it's a great high for some people, and it gives them superpower over you. And here you are with these insecurities, imperfections, stigmas, and all these stumbling blocks, and you can't move or go where you need to go. Again, when the Most High, I believe, created you, He created you to be the very best. So whatever it is that He has for you, that's who you're supposed to be. Man will sit up here and stop you. Man will throw because man just have this thing called ego, and then you got the two twins, jealousy and envy, and then you have other stuff and just fear, just evil. You have these things, and they'll just stop you. And the next thing you know, your 20s, your 30s, well, 20s you got time to make mistakes. 30s go by, 40, 50, 60 go by, 70, and you holding on from something from when you were 10. And do you see that? And then you will have someone that come around you that has all this ball of positive energy, and you just like, why don't he or she shut up? And you don't understand they're free. You understand that you haven't touched on or experienced what it means to be free, or to be light, or to really walk in your power and your strength, right? So again, I'm your host, Shane. Thank you for logging on to Coffee Talk. This is your Friday podcast where we come on and we speak about trending topics and any issues going on in the communities or any type of community. Again, I am not a doctor, a therapist, or none of the above, but this is just something that is laid on my heart for me to discuss and talk about on my podcast. If you did miss the live, or you're just now chiming on, it will be on my YouTube channel, as well as my other forms of social media. I'm on Spotify. So if you also want to inbox me, you can, like you guys are doing now, emailing me, or you have my business number, you could do so. So yes, we're speaking tonight about your healing journey, self-healing journey. And so again, we started this off on Sunday. We spoke on Monday. Tuesday we had recovery studies. Thursday we had women's studies, and now we're ending this off with the podcast. So I just added on some more definitions and some more outlines and things to look at as you begin to reflect and get on your journey, or whatever it is, and whatever that might look like. Embrace what's going on and what's all around you, and just take it one day at a time. Understand that this again is a self journey, so you gonna feel like you're by yourself, and that's where your faith has to come in, whatever that might look like for you. But you might have to walk, meaning you might have to do some of these things by yourself, because again, the different behaviors and emotions, people might not be able to identify. They're gonna call you crazy, they're gonna call you all types of wonderful things, but it is part of the process. It is a part of the journey. Take baby steps. Take baby steps. Okay? They're called baby steps because they're small steps. So if you're in your 40s and 50s, again, if something took place between your younger years, you're not going to heal from this in 10 days. You're not going to heal from this in 15 days. You might just begin to address it in the 10 days, and then it might take another 10. I'm not saying those are the numbers, but I'm just giving an example. It might take another 20 days for you to write this thing down. It might take another 10 more days for you to go back and look at it. It might take another 10 more days for you to call your insurance company to see if you can go sit down and talk to somebody. And then after that, you might take a look at what you actually wrote. And then you might embrace the baby steps. Embrace the baby steps. Okay, we're not here to rush and speed healing. Again, to me, it's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong journey. Some other things that people deal with and might need healing from is eating, self-indulging in wrong things, whether it's spirits or alcohol or drug abuse or things like that. Some might have addiction to procrastination. That is also part of the healing journey. Some people procrastinate. Some people are stubborn. Some people have anger issues. Some people are naive. That is part of the healing because your reality is not real. Some people deal with delusions, and that's their reality. Some people live in that realm. That realm goes deep because people really think what's right before them is not what's right before them. What are some other things? There's a list of things, a list of environmental traumas that have taken place. You again examine where you're at and examine yourself. If you have a question right now and you're in the chat, you can go ahead and send me the question. Again, this is Coffee Talk, and I'm your host, Shane. I thank everyone for logging on tonight. It's Friday night. You could be anywhere around the world, but you decide to be online with me. Isolation. Thank you, Zentra. Isolation can be another item to go into your self-healing journey. Isolation is isolate, to separate yourself, to that's where anxiety and fear and depression really sets in. If your therapist prescribes for you to go out for walks, go out for a walk. She's not telling you to stay in the house for a reason. She's telling you to go out within nature. If she prescribes that you should maybe try to travel, even if it's local. Try to do those things. Isolation causes you to overthink. When you overthink, you start questioning yourself, second guessing yourself, third, fourth, fifth guessing yourself, and that opens up the doors to imperfection, insecurities, and then that opens up a rabbit hole of stuff, and then the next thing you know, you just like, I'm going through the Great Depression. So you see how one can open up a door and go down the whole rabbit hole. So some women, I would always suggest that there's a number of women on all type of platforms that are doing the work, and they are listening to good things, whether it's meditation, whether it's other podcasters, whether it's just people in general. There's some therapists also on YouTube that help and assist you identify some of the traumas with the definitions. Again, I'm not a therapist, but this is ways, and these are things that I'm doing. Of course, I'm on a journey as well. Don't think I am not. This is part of my journey, sharing my experience with others. There are workbooks. You can form your own workbook. You don't have to go out and buy a workbook, or if you want to go out and buy a workbook, again, you can get a nice fancy one, but utilize the workbook. Just don't get a workbook and say, I'm going to get it and start writing down and journaling and do absolutely nothing. Do the work that is necessary to, again, be the very best you. Take the baby steps. Take the baby steps. Be patient and persistent. Patient with yourself. Do not beat yourself up with things that you cannot change. Do not beat yourself up for other people's behaviors. That goes into in depth as well. and accept being persistent. Do not put this down 1 month. That's like us when the new year start. We said we're going to go to the gym, and then we buy all this wonderful workout outfits, and we look cute in the gym, and that's all we fully give you is maybe 2 weeks to a month. Guilty. Okay, so when you are doing this and you start this, be persistent. Do not put this down. You have to, some of us have to continue to stay in somebody's group or listen to something. I have to keep something in my ears. I have to keep something around me. I have to, because if I can't do this by myself. Even though this is a self journey, some people just need that extra clutch. Some people just need to get up in the middle of the night and maybe listen to some jazz or listen to some music or drink that cup of tea. I need that aid, because if I put this down, I can't do this thing until you get to a place in your life to where you are able to walk the walk by yourself. Okay, so definitely always be patient with yourself, be persistent with yourself, and understand that this self journey is for you. You're not dismissing and missing anyone that's around you, but in order for me to not drive everyone crazy in this here house, I have to start doing the work. And then you can encourage, if other people in your homes or your jobs or wherever that you are, they might need to do it too. So if they see that you're doing it and you're taking small steps, they will get on theirs. I think things in life will just flow accordingly. It'll flow better. We had all these things in the community that we're supposed to do this and by this time, and we're supposed to be here. I tell the story all the time. Disney messed me up. Please don't, they did, because I thought at a certain time, go to college, get married, have a house. I wanted my career, then children, and none of that stuff came in order. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And when the crash came down and the delusion came over my eyes, fell off of my eyes, I was hurt. And to pick back up the pieces of trying to figure out who exactly is Shane, who exactly is Shamika, who is she, and connecting with who and what the name is my parents gave me. That is part of my healing journey. I understand that I have things and work for me to do. I can't look at the next person or whatever their name is and say, well, that's for me. No. I had to identify with me, my name, and who exactly I am. So that is how my healing journey started. And it has been some highs and lows. But the process, the older I get, I embrace the process. I love starting something because I like to see the end results, and I like to embrace and intake all the steps that was taken. And so my steps can help someone with their journey, and it will keep the flow going. That's how we're supposed to move, and that's what a community does. Not, I'm going to do everything by myself. There's no way. So again, those of you that are on the chat and you took time out, you guys write down some of the things, or if you want to listen to this tonight, it'll be uploaded later on. Sometimes it take a day, but it'll be uploaded either on my Spotify. It'll definitely stay on here, and you can listen to it again. And again, examine where you are in your journey. Embrace your journey. Be patient and persistent. Understand the setbacks as part of your process. It's a learning opportunity. Understand the insecurities that go along with it. I'm trying to incorporate everything that I have written down. Take your baby steps again. Don't hold on to grudges. And just love yourself. That's it. So I'm going to close off with that. So I just collectively added everything together. There's more definitions, but off the top right now I can't think of it. But you get the gist of it. So that is tonight's topic. Does anyone in the chat have anything that they want to add on? I thank you again for chiming on to Coffee Talk. Thank you so much for no one in the chat. Thank you, all that's on. So if there's no one else, we're going to close out the live. Again, it will be up on my profile, and I will have it uploaded on my platforms. I thank you. I want each and every one of you out there in internet land to embrace your healing. If you have any questions or you want to contact me, again, you can continue to message me, email, all the wonderful outlets that I have that you guys been speaking and communicating with me on. Again, all this will be uploaded. I am your host, Shay. Have a wonderful, safe weekend. Spend some time in nature if you can. Drink water and mind your business. Until next Friday.